How's it going?
Yes, I'm doing well, sir.
Okay, it's pretty good today, yeah? Yeah, this is the first time we met. Let me introduce myself in very quick way. My name is Rahmat Kurniawan. Just graduated a couple months ago from University of Melbourne, and my major is computer science. So, if one of you or some of you are learning about computer, then we can have some conversation later on. And then, yeah, I'm originally from Makassar. Yeah, we're the same. I was the same. I'm coming from the same place as Mr. Eddie. Yes. And before we go further for this class in this afternoon, I would like to know you guys deeper. So we can have like a relationship as a students and a tutor, or we can have a relationship as a friends later on. Okay, I will start from Mr. Tree. Mr. Tree, can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Yes. Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Tri Susilo. You can call me Tri. I'm an Indonesian. So in my leisure time, I spend gardening, orange, make vegetable, and any other activities in my homes like washing dishes and any others.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Trey. Nice to meet you. And then Mr. Rizwandi. Rizwandi, can you hear me? Yeah, he has some problem with the connection. Okay, can you hear me, Miss Rizwandi? Could you introduce yourself? I mean, your background, maybe. Hello. Yep.
Okay, let me introduce myself. My name
Yep.
is Pati. I'm from Bone, South Sulawesi.
Okay.
My hobby is listening music, and I like something like that. I spend my hours for just learning because I want to continue my education. And now I'm focused to up my score IELTS. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rizwandi. Okay, never stop learning, okay? Okay, next, Miss Fatika. Hi, Miss Fatika. I think you're the only woman in this class. Okay, so you can introduce yourself, please.
Hello, I'm Fatika Maulidia, and you can call me Tika. Malang, East Java. I graduated from Universitas Brawijaya last year in December 2019, and now I try to improve my IELTS score.
Okay.
Because I plan to take real IELTS in September or in August or September this year.
Thank you so much. Good luck for your IELTS test later.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome, Miss Fatika. Thank you. And next is Mr. Novel. Sorry, Mr. Novel, please.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Naufal Abiu. You can call me Naufal. I'm currently a final year student at Department of Aquaculture, Faculty of Fisheries and Marine Science, University of Brawijaya. And for several times ago, until now, I prepare for my IELTS, and hopefully I can take a IELTS test soon, maybe in September or October. Thank you.
Good luck and cheer up for your IELTS test.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Naufal. And next is Miss Astika. Hi, Miss Astika.
Hi, sir.
Yes, please.
I'll introduce ourselves.
Yep.
Okay. Hello, sir. My name is Astika, and I was graduated from the University of Medan. And Now I'm working as a teacher. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we have the same prophecy. So you're a teacher and I'm a teacher as well. Okay, nice to meet you, Miss Astika. Okay, guys, I'm so glad to see you. We know that we're coming from a different backgrounds and a different maybe knowledge background, and we have maybe different some experience that we have done, but we have same purpose. All of you, and even most of you wants to improve your English, and even some of you want to get a good score in IELTS. To maybe you have a plan for study abroad, for example, because yeah, most of the people who try to get an IELTS score are trying to get a scholarship for studying abroad. And I've just finished my study, so we can share a bit of information about what I've done or what I had done in the past to get a IELTS score, and also what I've done to get a scholarship as well. And then maybe we can talk a bit about things that what I've experienced when I was living in Australia. Okay, so yeah, we can share that information as well as the English things that I've got when I was there in Australia. But before we come in information, I want to share a bit of information about pronunciation. Wait. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I want to ask Mr. Eddie.
Yes.
Mr. Eddie, can you allow me to be co-host?
Co-host or how?
Yep, participant.
So
wait. Participant, so I can share.
Okay. Okay. Sit. Okay. Host.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now here we go. Let me talk a bit about pronunciation. So I want to share what I think. What is the important things about pronunciation? Maybe most of the English students just know about grammar, a vocabulary, or maybe like reading, listening, and so on. But some of you may not really familiar with the pronunciation, or you might not be really know about the pronunciation. So you know it, but you don't really understand what is it for. So okay, wait a minute. So this is two different things. This is the differences between grammar and pronunciation. What those can give you. So the rules of grammar can make your English sound smart. So when you speak without grammar rules, your English will be sounding like something is broken. Like, yeah, you speak as what you want, and then you break all the rules and regulation that English has. But if you use correct grammar, then your English will be sound smart. Okay. And then what about pronunciation? What pronunciation can give you? So pronunciation makes your English sounds cool. Okay. If you pronounce English in the correct way, in the rule of pronunciation itself, then it will be even much cooler than you can expect it. Okay, and that's really important. Next, what is pronunciation? So based on the Wikipedia and some resources, pronunciation is the way in which word or language is spoken. But pronunciation is much more about the sounds, stress. You know, when you should stress the word, when you speak about it, and the intonations, and then some standard or correctness or acceptability of sounds itself. So we're gonna talk about sounds. So you can produce. You will be producing sound in this kind of course of English. And then so does pronunciations matter? That's a question. Does it matter in your English? Is that important for your English? The answer is depends on you. If you are an active English learner, then that's really important. But if you're passive, you just read a book and you just write something, then it's not going to be really important. But overall, pronunciation is really important in my perspective. So here we go. Let's test your pronunciation skill. So in this slide, I want to encourage you guys for practicing your pronunciation. So how to pronounce these words in this screen, then I just want to know whether you can pronounce it correct or even you have some mistake about it. Okay, I can see in the screen that some of you just try to speak about it or speak these words. But yeah, let's see. I'm gonna ask some of you to read this. I mean, I need your help to practice these words. Okay, is that okay? I hope that's okay. Yep. Okay. First of all, these two words. I want to ask Mr. Wait, because I can't really see your name. Wait. Mr. Tri Susila.
Yes.
Mr. Tri, can you pronounce these two first words for me?
Accept.
Yep.
And accept.
Okay. Okay, thank you. That's a good try. And I want to ask Miss Fatika. Can you help me to pronounce those two words?
Which one?
This one. No, these two words. Yep.
Accept and wait.
Right.
Accept and accept.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll tell you the correct way to pronounce it after all. And I need one more participant. What about Mr. Naufal? Can you help me?
Yes, Mister.
Yep.
Accept and accept.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so these two words sometimes makes people confused of how to pronounce those words. Most of the time, I mean, I usually hear that people or Indonesian students pronounce this as a accept. Yeah, have you pronounced that accept, not accept? So the way to pronounce this correctly is accept. So accept. You can see this. This is the symbol of phonetic sound. So this is the way we pronounce it, and this symbol will guide you to produce the sound. So the first word is accept, and the second word is accept. Okay. So the first one is accept. Okay. Don't exchange between those words. Okay. So accept. Okay. Now the second list. I say the second words. These two words maybe look similar, but they are pronounced differently. Okay, and they have different meaning. The first word means merekam. The second word means rekaman. Okay, can you tell the difference between those two? I want to ask Miss Astika. Can you help me, Miss Astika? Pronounce the words.
Record and record.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Now, Mr. Riswandi, can you pronounce it?
Okay, record and
Okay, I cannot get the second word, but that's okay. And now I want to ask Mr. Rido. Sorry, Mr. Rido, can you pronounce these words?
Okay.
Yep.
Record.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, sorry, Mr. Rido. Okay, so these two words have a different meaning. So yang pertama dalam rekam, and the second is rekaman. When you want to say verb, the verb term, because this is the verb, and this one the noun. If you want to say this word, so it will sound record. So record. And the second is record. Okay. What is the difference is the stress. Do you see this symbol? So they are located in different places. Okay. So in the first word, it's placed in the middle of the word, and in the second word, it's placed in the first of the word. So in the first word, you have to pronounce it like record, so the stress in the middle of the word. And the second word, you have to stress in the first part of the word, so record. So record and record. Okay, so if you see these words and you know the meaning of that, you know which one is a verb and which one is a noun, so you have to pronounce it differently. So if you want to say that like, I want to record your voice. And if you want to use this, can you show me the record of your voice? You got it? Yeah, that's differences. Maybe now you won't really understand that, and maybe you think that it's not really important. But when you are in the places of when you're going abroad and when you study abroad, then it's gonna be really, really important. Because when you mispronounce it, then people can be misunderstood about what you're going to say or the meaning of things that you want to say. Okay, that's the example of a pronunciation. I have a couple of examples like this. Okay, these two words look maybe sounds almost the same, but in the first word it sounds hit, and the second word is hit. Can you notice the difference? So the first word is hit, and the second word is hit. This is hit. This is hit. Okay, you say I hit you, and then it's can you give what is, how to use this word, heater, like to make warm, or to make it as a something that make you warm, so heat. Okay, and the second I mean the other words is like sick and seek. This is sick. Yeah, so when you feel unwell, or you feel something wrong with your health, and say you have to say I feel sick. And then if you look for something, then you say seek. So sick, seek. Okay, this one sick, and this one seek. This one will, and this one will. It's gonna be wrong if you pronounce this as a will. No, it's not will. This is will. So if you use in a word, then you would say, I will tell you. No, I will tell you. No, because when you say will, that means this word. Okay, and this one as well is not. It's more or less as important as before, as a cup and then cap. This one cup, and this one cap. Okay, don't forget to use P at the end of the word. So cup and cap. Okay, last words. This is most of the mistake that people make when they try to learn English and then try to pronounce. That those words have different meaning. The first, a beach. So you say it's beach. It's a beach, and this one is beach. Beach, beach. Okay, beach, beach. If you pronounce something wrong, then native speaker or people from this English spoken country might be confused about what you're saying, or they may catch a wrong definitions of what information you are delivering, or something like that. So pronunciation will be really, really important when it comes to delivering something, especially if your words have similar sounds, or we can say as a homophotic sounds. Yeah, that's the name of pronunciation terms. And then let's talk about accent. Which one do you prefer? There are three big of the most famous accent in the world. Do you use American or British or Australian? Most of the students know American because all sectors in the world use American, like Hollywood in the movie, they use American accent most of the time, as well as the song. If you listen to the song, then they are using American accents as an accent to those songs. And British, you may find British in several occasions, like when you watch movies like Harry Potter, or you may find British accents if you really want to know about the British, and you find some videos in YouTube when British people from England speak, then they will use British accents. Like, they sound a bit of soft. If you listen to American, they will they used to speak like really strong words, like car. They use R in the strong sounds, like car, repair. But when British mention that words, then they will use soft. It sounds very soft kind of sound, like car. They don't really pronounce R, so they say car. And then they also say like repair, so they don't really pronounce R. Instead, they pronounce T most of the time, like butter. So that's British. Butter, that's British. When Americans say that, butter, so they change words T into D. It's like from butter to butter. Okay. And Australian, what is Australian accents and how they speak? Do Australian has their own accent? I can say Australian accents is unique. They have, people in Australia have their own way to speak from one place to the other places. So in different region, they might speak in a different way, but basically they have a one broad accent. We call it broad accent. Broad accent is kind of like accent that, and fundamentally is the basic of the pronunciation in Australia. So like when Australia, when America say hi man or say hi dude, Australian will say hi mate. So you will listen to that word when you're going to Australia, like hi mate, how are you doing, mate? How's it going? Something like that. And they also have a bit of a slang and their own idioms to implement in their daily conversation. And I used to find that, and it's a little bit difficult to understand, but when you get used to it, then you'll be understand that. the other things that I want to share is about how to speak like a native. So the way Indonesians speak and then the way native or people from English spoken country speak is much more different, a little bit different. In the structural of our language, sometimes if you want to speak in English, you just translate your Indonesian sentence and transform it into English sentence, and that's a bit of a mistake of English learner. For example, when you say when we want to say di luar hujan, you might say it's rain, and that's wrong. The correct word is it's raining, because in America, because in English, rain is a verb, while in Indonesia, rain is a noun. So when I want to translate this word into Indonesia, it's not, it doesn't mean like di luar hujan. No, it means di luar sedang berhujan, because rain is a verb. Okay, so when I want to say in Indonesia like kemarin hujan, I say it was raining yesterday. I use verb instead. I don't use the noun verb, the form of rain. Okay, because in Indonesia rain is noun, kata benda, while in English rain is verb. Okay, same as if you want to say for example, in Indonesia, you want to say tangannya patah. You might say her hand is broken. Like, no, it's not broken. The correct way to mention that, she broke her hand. So when you want to translate this word when like this common sentence that a native speaker use, if you want to translate it in Indonesia, it will be sounds like dia mematahkan tangannya, and you might surprise like why she broke her hand. It doesn't make sense, but it means tangannya patah. Okay, so so I suggest you to not translate Indonesian word to English word, but you have to learn how the way pronounce how the way native speakers say it in their own language, something like that. So usually Indonesian will say, if they want to say tangannya patah, if they want to mention you that tangannya patah, most of Indonesian students will say her hand is broken. Like, what? And native speakers say, what do you mean by her hand is broken? Your hand doesn't work or something? Like, no, because native speaker use different types of word. When you translate it in Indonesia, it will be confusing. Okay, same as this the third words. It'll make sense when you say we can make a business, or business. Yes, this is a business. We can make business, because Indonesian used to make business, while in English word it should be do business. Okay, so when you want to mention something about business, don't say let's make business, or just don't say make business, but do business, because that's forms of collocation. Okay, so that things that I want to share about a English, or I'd say pronunciation. Okay, the other things that I want to share with you guys is about listening. So what's the important thing about listening? To be honest, listening is very enjoyable things that I can do most of the time. I listen to the podcast. I listen to some of the record, or I listen to some of the like a radio podcast or music or something like that in English, and it helps me a lot to understand in English. But what things that English student forgot or miss when they listen to English record or English sounds or English podcast or whatever, it's the detail. When you listen to English music or listen to the podcast or you watch the movies or TVs or maybe videos, you forget to listen to the details of those information. So when you listen to the podcast, try to listen to every single detail that people in that podcast mentioned. Okay, when you listen to information, try to understand that information, because in that way your brain will works and like your brain kind of get train itself to obtain all those informations and then keep it in your brain, something like that. And for example, why the question is why IELTS listening test your capability to obtain as much as information or detail in every record in that in IELTS test, because that really happened. If you're studying abroad, or if you are in the class which use English as a language, the way the in conversation or the way they interact, then you have to get or understand all of the details in the class. To be honest, when I was learning or when I was in the class in the University of Melbourne, I sometimes need to listen to the record of the class. So in Australia or in the Melbourne, they will provide you a video of the class that you've attended. So you can review that materials and you can rewatch or replay that information in the class. So because when you are learning, when it comes to the learning process in the University of Melbourne, or maybe when you get a chance to learn to study abroad, then all of information your teacher or your professor or lecturer speak in the class should be obtained by you. Like you have to observe all of those things, whether you have to jot it down, make a note, make a record, and it's not an easy thing, because our brain is used to work in a single channel. You know, that's my problem. When I listen to something, my brain used to think and listening and try to understand in the same time. So that's very complex process. So sometimes if I try to focus listening to what my lecturer is saying, then I would forget what it means. I mean, I couldn't really save it in my brain, or I couldn't understand, because every words that my lecturer mentioned is very, very uncommon sometimes. But when I listened in the 100% focus, then I got one word, only one word, just say one word that really uncommon, and my focus just like boom, it's gone. Like my brain had tried to understand what this word meant, and all those conversations just go over my head. Okay, so that's why you have to be used to understand and to train yourself to get all the details of sound of the information that you listen. Okay, that's the key. For example, in the first part of the listening IELTS, they would ask you to write down the spell of the name, or maybe the number of the phone number, you know, the list of number. They would say, can you mention your number, your phone number? And they start to say, oh, a list of numbers. And if you just miss one number in the middle of those record, then sometimes you lost your focus. Like, and you might say in your head, like, what the hell? I missed one numbers and then I forgot everything. And maybe you will not put your focus on that record and you forget everything and you might give up on that. And that's the problem. And it's same that's happened as well in you when you are studying in English class. When you listen to the lecture explanation, and then you forgot or you miss one word or several words, then your concentration might gone. Okay, that's the thing. And the second is about listening is understanding. Okay, some of us, I want to admit it, even myself, sometimes when I listen to the record or conversation, or I listen to the video, sometimes I just listen to it without understand of all the contents, to be honest. Especially when it comes to the unfamiliar topic. Okay, that's the fact. And that will be one of the problem when you come to the listening in the section 4 or 3. Yeah, because in the section 4 or 3, they would like to play the record or the conversation or of two people that discussing about something unfamiliar sometimes. Yeah, so let's say you are a math student or you are physics student, and then suddenly you listen to the IELTS conversations about psychology. Okay, and you might not have any idea about what psychology is, and you might find an explanation or words that you are not really familiar with. Like say, what that word means. So my suggestion is please spend your time to read every single clues in that paper. So in the paper of your task in IELTS listening, they write some clue there. So as long as you got into that clue, then hopefully you can catch up with that audio and explanations in the IELTS listening. And that's happened as well to me. I always train myself and always encourage myself to listen to and try to understand what the context or contents and specific informations in the record. And that helps me a lot to get 7.5 in my IELTS listening. Okay, so it's kind of like begging, or like say, you wish that you'll find or you'll get IELTS listening that familiar with you. For example, my background knowledge is technology, information technology. If I got conversations in the IELTS section 4 or part 4 about technology, then it's gonna be much easier for me to understand and to answer the task, okay, or something like that. So it's kind of like bargain. Okay, that's about listening. So yeah, be used to it. Be used to it. Like I'll suggest you that it's gonna be better if you use like 15 minutes or maybe 30 minutes or whatever you have time for it to listen to English conversations or English record or English video in the morning when you wake up. Okay, spend just 15 minutes when you wake up, then practice to listen to the detail and understand what the conversations are talking about. Okay, that's the way I train myself to get into it. So yeah, be familiar with it. I mean, make you